It's a place where legends are born, where reality blends with myth, and the line between fact and fiction becomes as murky as the ocean depths. And today, we dive into one of those legends, a story that has captivated explorers and puzzled scientists for centuries. The story of an island that appears and disappears like a mirage, a ghost in the heart of the Pacific. This is the enigma of Sandy Island. It would seem like a dream come true, a paradise rising from the waves. But something about this island isn't right. This island, Sandy Island, has a habit of vanishing without a trace. Sailors reported its existence, even marked it on their maps, only to find empty ocean where it should have been. Was it an optical illusion, a mass hallucination, or something even stranger? Sounds like something straight out of a ghost story, but this island, Sandy Island, was real enough to be on official maps for years, for centuries. Sandy Island was a cartographic anomaly, a phantom island haunting the maps of the Pacific. In the age of satellites and advanced navigation, the mystery of Sandy Island only deepened. Even with modern technology, this island remained unexplained. Join me as we journey into the heart of this maritime enigma, exploring historical records, scientific expeditions, and unsettling theories that attempt to explain the unexplainable. So, was it Cook himself who first documented Sandy Island? That certainly lends credibility to the story, doesn't it? That's right, Cook, a meticulous cartographer, recorded its coordinates, but strangely, his logs don't contain detailed descriptions of the island. That's odd. For someone so thorough, you'd expect at least some notes about its size or terrain. Cook, known for his accuracy, left Sandy Island shrouded in silence. No sketches, no observations, just a fleeting whisper in the wind. So, this wasn't just a one-time sighting. Other sailors claimed to have seen it too. However, the reports described a low sandbank, barely peeking above the waves, a hazard in the treacherous South Pacific. But if it was a known danger, wouldn't ships have avoided it? Wouldn't that make finding it even more unlikely? You'd think so, but the reports persisted, as if the island was playing hide and seek. What kind of happenings? The kind that make you want to sleep with one eye open? Yes, something quite spectacular. Compasses acted strangely near the supposed location of the island, and the water surrounding it was inexplicably warm, like a cauldron bubbling beneath the waves. Even with sonar and aerial photography, this phantom island kept dodging us. For a while, Sandy Island stayed on the maps until 1979, when the Australian Hydrographic Service did a survey and found nothing. Just a little over 1,000 meters of deep ocean where the island was supposed to be. It's hard to believe so many experienced sailors and mapmakers could be wrong. Theories emerged: a migrating reef, a sandbank, or something more mysterious. And what about the strange happenings? The erratic compasses, the warm waters. The enigma of Sandy Island was far from over. Incredible, right? The island that didn't exist was showing up on Google Earth. Unbelievable. A dark oblong shape appeared where Sandy Island had been mapped for centuries, as if the island had jumped from history into the digital age. But it wasn't just Google Earth. Other map services also showed something there. Scientists started investigating, intrigued by what the satellite data was revealing or not revealing. So, Sandy Island might have been a trick of the light, so to speak? Possibly. The dynamic ocean environment can create patterns that confuse sensors, but there was another possibility, one that excited the scientists. Sailing the Pacific to find an island that might not exist sounds like a Jules Verne novel. Equipped with state-of-the-art sonar, they were ready to tackle the mystery. So, the island that was on maps for centuries was nothing more than a phantom? It seemed that way. The scientists were baffled, expecting to find something, anything, but there was only emptiness. And what about the reports of strange happenings from sailors? Surely there is more to this story? The mystery of Sandy Island remains a reminder that even in our digital age, some corners of the world still whisper stories of the unknown. Sandy Island could have been a volcanic island, an island born of fire and fury, only to be swallowed again by the ocean. It's a compelling theory, one that has some scientific backing. Volcanic islands, formed by the eruption of magma from the Earth's mantle, can emerge and disappear relatively quickly, especially in geologically active regions, like the Pacific Ring of Fire. But wouldn't there be some evidence of this volcanic activity, some remnants of the island, even if it were submerged? You'd think so, right? And that's one of the challenges of the volcanic origin theory. While it's possible for a volcanic island to erode and disappear beneath the waves over time, you would expect to find at least some geological evidence, some trace of its existence. There's no explanation. What could create an island out of something as thin as air? Or not air exactly, but something almost as light. Pumice. Pumice, as you know, is a type of volcanic rock that forms when lava with a high gas content erupts explosively. The gas bubbles trapped inside the cooling lava create a porous and lightweight material that can actually float on water. So could it be that Sandy Island might have been a giant raft of pumice floating on the surface of the Pacific? Exactly. And it's not as crazy as it might seem. Large pumice rafts have been observed, sometimes covering hundreds of square kilometers after underwater volcanic eruptions. These rafts from a distance can easily be mistaken for solid land masses, especially if they are covered with vegetation or debris. Are we talking about the supernatural? Ghosts, spirits, things that go bump in the night? Not exactly ghosts, but maybe something just as elusive, something that exists at the edge of our understanding. Some have speculated that Sandy Island could be some kind of interdimensional portal, a place where the veil between realities is thin. It could be a doorway to another dimension, a place that exists outside of our normal space and time. It's a fantastic idea for sure, but the idea of parallel universes, of realities that coexist alongside ours, has been a topic of fascination and debate for centuries. Could Sandy Island be a convergence point for these realities, a place where the laws of physics, as we know them, break down? A glitch in the matrix? Are we talking about a computer error? A digital ghost? Exactly. Remember, these digital maps, as sophisticated as they are ultimately created by algorithms, by lines of code that process and interpret large amounts of data. And as with any complex system, errors can occur, data can be corrupted, and phantom images can appear where they shouldn't. So, are we saying that Sandy Island on Google Earth might have been nothing more than a digital mirage, a ghost in the machine? It's a possibility, and one that highlights the inherent limitations of our digital tools. We rely so much on these technologies, on their perceived accuracy and objectivity, that we often forget that they're also susceptible to errors, to glitches in the matrix that can distort our perception of reality. It's one thing to mistake a sandbank for an island, or for a satellite to malfunction. But compasses, those are precision tools, instruments that rely on the Earth's magnetic field, not on human perception or digital data. Precisely. A malfunctioning compass at sea is no small matter. It's a sailor's lifeline, their guide across the vast expanse of the ocean. And yet, numerous reports, spanning centuries, tell of compasses spinning wildly, becoming useless trinkets in the vicinity of where Sandy Island was mapped. It's enough to make even the most experienced sailor question their sanity, to have your compass spinning erratically, to feel like the very laws of nature are unraveling around you. Imagine the isolation of being on the open sea, the vastness of the sky above and the depths below, and then to have your compass, your only guide, betray you. It's a recipe for fear, for a creeping sense of dread that something is deeply wrong, something that science can't easily explain. Whispers? What kind of whispers are we talking about? Sailors have described a variety of spooky sounds. Some talk about low rumbling groans, as if the earth itself is sighing beneath the ocean. Others report a chorus of sharp whistles and clicks, like some unseen creatures communicating in a language unknown to human ears. I get goosebumps just thinking about it, to be surrounded by the vastness of the ocean, knowing that there's something down there, something unseen and unknown, something that defies all explanation. And then there are the stories of the ocean floor itself seeming to shift and transform, as if responding to some unseen force. Sailors have reported sudden changes in depth, areas where the water becomes inexplicably shallower or deeper, as if sandbanks are rising and falling beneath their ships. Fog at sea isn't exactly unusual. It's a natural phenomenon, caused by differences in the temperature of the air and water. But are we suggesting that these fogs were somehow different? How is that possible? The sailors who encountered these fogs described them as unusually thick and persistent, often appearing quickly and wrapping their ships in a mysterious, disorienting white blanket. And what's even stranger is that these fogs seem to have a life of their own. Imagine, a life of their own? Were these fogs somehow aware, like they were deliberately hiding something incomprehensible? But the stories tell of the fog suddenly parting, as if revealing a secret, and then closing again just as quickly, leaving the sailors wondering if they had imagined it all. Lights? Could they be talking about bioluminescent plankton? Or maybe the northern lights reflecting on the water? No, these lights were different. Sailors have described them as multicolored, shifting and moving like a kaleidoscope, sometimes appearing as bright orbs floating above the water, other times like beams of light shooting into the night sky. It sounds almost beautiful in an unsettling way, but I can only imagine the fear and wonder those sailors must have felt, witnessing such a spectacle in the middle of the vast, dark ocean. Imagine being alone on the deck of your ship, the only sound the creaking of the hull and the splashing of the waves, and then looking up and seeing those lights, those impossible colors, dancing on the horizon. It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about the world, to wonder if maybe you've stumbled upon something truly extraordinary, something beyond human comprehension. It's a chilling thought, to think that we might not be alone in our search for answers, that something might be watching us, studying us, just as we try to understand it. It's a theme that runs through many seafaring legends, the idea that the ocean holds creatures and forces beyond our understanding, entities that exist at the edges of our reality, watching us, perhaps even interacting with us in subtle, often unsettling ways. Makes you think, doesn't it? If Sandy Island were a gateway to another dimension, as some have speculated, what might we have unleashed unintentionally by trying to find it? And what else might be out there, hidden beneath the waves, waiting for its moment to emerge? These are questions that may never have definitive answers, but maybe that's part of what makes the ocean and the mysteries it holds so endlessly fascinating. It's a testament to the enduring power of the unknown, to our innate human desire to seek answers, to make sense of a world that often seems determined to keep its secrets hidden. For centuries, Sandy Island has been a blank canvas onto which we've projected our hopes, our fears, and our endless fascination with the unexplained. Was it a cartographic error, a phantom volcano, a digital glitch, or something even stranger? Maybe we'll never know for sure. And yet, isn't there a certain beauty in that uncertainty? In knowing that there are still places in our world, even in this age of instant information and global connectivity, where mystery and wonder still prevail? The story of Sandy Island is a reminder that we don't have all the answers, that our maps, both literal and metaphorical, are still being drawn. And maybe that's a good thing, because it's in those uncharted waters, in those spaces where knowledge fades into speculation, that our imagination is free to wander. It's a place where stories are born, tales of sea monsters and mermaids, of lost cities and phantom islands, stories that capture our imagination, that make us question what we think we know about the world and our place in it. And maybe that's the most enduring legacy of Sandy Island. It's not about whether the island was real or not, but about the stories it inspired, the questions it raised, the sense of wonder it evoked. It's a reminder that the most important maps are often the ones we draw in our minds, the maps that guide us not across the oceans, but through the uncharted waters of our own imagination. So, the next time you look at the ocean, let your mind wander. Let yourself be captivated by the mysteries hidden beneath the waves, by the stories that have been passed down through generations, by the possibility that there are still wonders out there, waiting to be discovered. Maybe, just maybe, Sandy Island is somewhere out there, waiting for the right moment, the right traveler, to reveal its secrets. Until then, it will continue to live in our imagination, a phantom island in a sea of infinite possibilities. Follow us on the Chronicles and Mysteries. Keep exploring the mysteries of our world, both real and imaginary. Subscribe, give us a like, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video. Until next time.